How would you really describe yourself at this moment? Because it's been a pretty interesting journey. You used to be the kind of star that was associated with disco music, and now you're known as the grandpa of electro music. What does that feel like?
Oh, well, for a start, it feels extremely sort of tiring. But the whole dance feel of things, the whole dance genre of music has changed so much since the advent of disco. In those days, disco was, well, not only was it a dirty word among radio programmers and people that were very much into midstream music. Today, the word disco is hardly used, but actually it comes under this big umbrella of disco music, whether it's techno or R&B or hip hop or funk and dance. So how I feel so good, and I feel a lot better when I'm in Australia. I don't mean anything bad by that, but it's just because I started the dance scene in Australia in the late 70s, and they have recognized me for it. In Sri Lanka, yes, the same song which broke me in Australia and in other parts of the world broke here too, and it became a big hit. Probably Yasmin, you weren't even born then. I'm talking like 1977.
The disco lady loves to dance. The disco lady loves romance. She knows the tune, she knows the cues. She loves the band, she loves the blues.
What was it like, the whole transition from, the music you were doing to electro?
Strange, but just last week, the major newspaper in Australia, which is the Fairfax Group, and they cater to all of Australia and New Zealand and some of the Pacific Islands, call me the godfather of dance. And mainly because the rock historians over there label me with being the purveyor of dance music. That was like in 1981, after the hit record. So to come back now at this moment in time and be called the grandpa of dance and the funk master and all these titles is so gratifying. It's so fantastic to feel that even at this age, people have recognized what I've been trying to do for so long.
So tell me about your record, Don't Funk With Me.
That was a tongue-in-cheek title. There's no song on the album called Don't Funk With Me. The reason for the title was very much of a tongue-in-cheek stab at the music industry. Because when I had Disco Lady out in 1977, for a long time it was ignored by radio. And at that time, I don't think the world was ready for disco. It broke only after the Bee Gees came up with Staying Alive, Staying Alive, and people started dressing up again. Before that, I don't know where they kept all their good-looking clothes, but it certainly wasn't in the clubs. And after that, after John Travolta did his thing on that dance floor, the whole disco scene evolved, and then the Bee Gees came in, and then it was like one on top of the other, and there was Eruption and Boney M, and hey, this whole big scene started up. But where I was at that time, I was in Australia. Nobody wanted to support it. So it took me quite a while, a lot of headbanging, a lot of sleepless nights, and even to the point where one radio program said, "Hey Alston, we don't like this, but don't worry. The next track, whatever it is, we don't want to even listen to it. We're gonna play it. So I thought it was strange that, you know, one person can control the destiny of a musician and a singer and a songwriter. So I said, okay, I'll just hang loose and see what happens. And lo and behold, they played my next single. That too was a disco track. And it was the biggest flop I ever had. It was called Island in the Sun. It wasn't the Harry Belafonte song, but it was a song I wrote about this beautiful island and where it's very summery and very tropical and where everything is nice.
So literally it was Sri Lanka.
Sort of in a way. Once again, very tongue-in-cheek. I didn't want to come out and blatantly tell him it's Sri Lanka. Because for some reason, I don't think they recognized the fact that Sri Lanka could come up with something musically to satisfy the world.
But do you think that biasness is still there?
Oh yes, there is.
So I'm sure it must be pretty challenging for you to actually get your music and everything out there, but it's amazing how you've actually broken through a lot of these international charts.
Yeah, well, the thing is now, if you look at people of the same sort of background like me, for example, a lot of people knock her, a lot of people say a lot of things about her, or whatever her beliefs are, whatever her political fantasies are all about. But at the end of the day, I know for a fact that she had a hard time breaking through. And she had to come through and say something weird or say something out of the ordinary to grab the people's attention. I mean, it's still happening. Look at Lady Gaga. I mean, she's so outlandishly, brilliantly, you know, made her debut and the way she performs and the whole thing, you know, it's like I said before, you gotta have a gimmick and something totally different to make people stand up and say, "Hey, what the hell is this?" So my record company and the people around me at the time said, getting back to your question, don't funk with me. Meaning, well, hey guys, don't funk with me with this album. Strangely enough, from the very day it was released, I had 100% support from the current music programmers, music directors. And it's been going crazy in England, and they call me the Luther Vandross of Australasia, and then Kiss FM in London said no, something else, and so it's sort of tagged on, and it's starting to happen now, which is great. But I still won't forget that I'm a Sri Lankan, and I started my music career here, and you know, Sri Lanka has to get some sort of accolade for what's happening. So don't funk with me.